So now to start off our performances and speeches, we will have hip-hop violinist and activist Big Lux and Christopher Johnson, a father, artist, educator, and playwright, present to you an original collaboration. Both men are incredible, talented, and kind-hearted individuals. I've had the honor to see both of them perform as well as speak with them on a personal level. And they truly have a talent that is beyond our understanding. It is my pleasure to introduce Christopher Johnson and Big Lux.
That's cool. No, it's all cool. I'm not going to write about it.
While he warms up, I just want to say, if you feel like you can't hear, don't be afraid to move up. I know that everybody's sitting in the shade, but it's okay to be uncomfortable. Just so that y'all knew, I grew up in a city that was 86% black. When I moved here to Rhode Island, finding out that we are like 8% black, I feel uncomfortable every day. You could be uncomfortable for a couple of minutes and move on up if you need to hear, okay? All right? Yesterday, I forced myself out the house. I was contacted by somebody a couple of days prior to meet to talk about bringing black men to Chad Brown after school program to meet young black boys. The meeting wasn't until mid-afternoon. I knew if I didn't leave the house by 10, I wouldn't have made the meeting by 1. That's how depression works. That's how anxiety works. When people say they don't believe in depression or, why don't you just, I tell them, you have no understanding of the components inside of a person's mind and body working against them, so maybe you should say nothing. There was a showing of The Green Book, a virtual short documentary and a talkback at the old Parish Booth Theater. The showing was downtown, meaning I had to catch the R line, which runs every 20 minutes. It takes 15 to 20 minutes to get downtown. The show was scheduled at 11 a.m. I didn't hop into the shower until 10:40. Hopped on a bus at 11:10. That's how depression works. That's how anxiety works. When people say they don't believe in depression or, why don't you just, I tell them, you have no idea of the components inside of a person's body and mind working against them, so maybe you should say nothing. After watching a doc about how black people survive white people while traveling through the South, unable to stop to use the restroom, needing a guidebook to find safe places to rest, packing enough food for non-stop trips because stopping to eat could have gotten you lynched if you were traveling black through the South. We listened to how Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old black boy from Cleveland, Ohio, was gunned down 1 second within a police car pulling up with him. Get this, the police were called because a 12-year-old child was playing with a toy gun in a park. We listened to his mom speak about how Tamir was treated and how she was kept from her son as he lied dying on the cold ground, and how she had to fight to get the video from the police, and how she watched her baby boy's last breath in that video. We in the room talked about our experience of being black in America, the lack of history, white people's apathy towards our ongoing plight, and how they seem to be the only ones to solve the problem. I left that theater feeling defeated. I walked to Black Sheep, looked in the window, packed with white faces, nothing but white faces. I thought of the meeting I had with the owner of that establishment. He told me he just doesn't let racism affect him. He is Latino. I told him racism doesn't affect you because you are white presenting. He asked me, what does white presenting mean? I made a left at Westminster, walked past Barnaby Public, packed with white faces, nothing but white faces, smiling, oblivious, happy white people. And I remember the new owner posting on social media, looking for bartenders and service staff. Message me if you need a job. I remember this being at a time I was so desperate for work, I posted on social media, I need a job. Is anyone hiring bartenders and service staff? As soon as I saw his request, I messaged him immediately. He posted it a second time. I messaged him a second time. No response whatsoever. And this guy's supposed to be a friend, not just somebody on social media, but somebody who I go and have drinks with, and I don't drink with just anyone. I left there and looked in the window, packed with nothing but white smiling faces, and that feeling of defeat turned to anger, turned to heavy breathing, turned to heart pounding, and my mind went to the documentary, and no niggas allowed signs, and the stories of black men afraid to leave buses because white men were to use the restroom, and niggas served around back signs, and white only fountains, and many new hammerheads. Walking down Westminster, I looked in the windows. Brick oven pizza, packed with white faces, nothing but white faces, smiling, oblivious, happy white people. I walked past the malted barley, nothing but smiling white faces, packed with white faces, oblivious, happy, smiling white people. Save one, a black boy, holding a rag and a spray bottle, rushing to wipe down a table, dodging through exiting customers. I felt othered. I dragged myself, left foot in front of right foot in front of left, mindlessly down the streets, diving into more white people walking towards me, and the gravity of the lack of self-worth rooted my chin to my chest. I felt othered. I couldn't hold my head high. People walking towards me, my eyes were too heavy to lift from the brick sidewalk because I didn't want to face the white gaze, oogling my obsidian frame like I was an oddity, like I didn't belong, or worse, piercing through me like I didn't exist. People coming at me. I didn't want to witness the fake white face half smile that flattens midway between cheek and chin, lips bent back and pressed inward, drawn tight like Picasso's sketched the tension on a fresh facelift of an aging Hollywood starlight. People walking past me. I didn't want to pass them and see their eyes stare past me like I didn't exist, like I didn't want to feel more invisible, even more worthless, even more othered. I came to this city knowing no one, and now thousands of people know my name, but outside of the context of a safe space, I am other. My name is on a list of poets who wrote inaugural poems for Ivy League presidents directly after Toni Morrison. I shared the stage with Mos Def, John Legend, and the Motown legendary Funk Brothers. I won the 2018 Rhode Island State Council Arts Fellowship for Playwriting and was a finalist for the McCall Johnson Fellowship for Writing after writing my second play in life. When I start to fold myself inside myself, to snap out of it, I have to remind myself that I am Christopher the Incredible Johnson. Why in the hell do I bow my head, allowing white people's reaction to my black body, to my black skin, have an effect on how I feel about me? That's how depression works. That's how anxiety works. My only thought was to get out of the public eye. This was violence. Happy, oblivious, smiling white faces ignoring my presence, othering my black skin, not acknowledging me as a person is violence. Not seeing me as human is violence. I zigzagged through downtown, thought of all the numbers I could possibly call who would understand this unknown red, black, gray, and purple I was feeling. I called my main man Don to no answer. I called people back in Jersey to no answer. I thought I needed someplace safe, but where in Providence, Rhode Island, is there a safe space for black people? I thought of Michael Van Leesten and how the city up until Friday only had 2 monuments acknowledging black people, and now we have 3. I went to the Michael Van Leesten walking bridge and tried one more number to call, a close friend, a Navy vet, and he picked up, and we talked as I walked to that bridge. There was a red-tailed hawk circling the bridge. I looked at that as a divine sign, as a beacon of hope. The red-tails were the black fighter pilots who some say were the reason why America won World War II. The red-tails, commonly known as the Tuskegee Airmen, protected the bombers on dangerous missions as they flew over Germany. They were so good at fighting off the enemy, they were preferred and requested over the white fighter pilots. On this bridge, I felt protected. I felt watched over. I felt like I could let my guard down, even cry if I wanted. But I had a meeting to go to, and this meeting was why I exist in this moment. This meeting and these experiences leading up to this meeting was my dangerous mission. This is why I'm in Providence. to drop bombs. Imagine black boys from Chad Brown growing up here with all these smiling white faces, ignoring them, refusing them work while calling them friend, elevating them for their talents while making them feel alone, worthless, and othered, with microaggression after microaggression. In a place where within 3 city miles from Central Falls to the border of Providence holds 80% of the black population of the entire state. I don't have time to be depressed. I don't have time for anxiety. I don't have time for the components at work in my body and head working against me, so when I'm depressed, you should say nothing. Maybe pick up the phone if I call. Acknowledge me. Truly acknowledge me if you see me, and provide a safe space, or as safe as a space can possibly be. Thank you.